family. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. This is Monday, June 20th, and it is 5:52 p.m. Long time no see. I try to only come on when I have some information to share because it's my pleasure to give you good information, positive information to inspire you, to motivate you, and encourage you. So my good friend Jason Harrison sent this article to me today, and I'm really thrilled to share it with you. Jason Harrison has a podcast on Iconic TV, and the podcast is called Self Mastery. There he talks about how to master the self, how to reach self-actualization, and how to be the best human being that you possibly can. So I support Jason, and I give him applause and gratitude, express gratitude to him for sharing that information with me. So the name of the article is, it says, Bennett and Lapid agreed to dissolve the Israeli government. So this is great news because, well, at least I'm hoping it's great news. So I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think the implications of this article is? This article came out just today. So this is breaking news that the prime minister and another top official agreed to dismantle the Israeli government. I'm excited because I'm hoping this is what we've been looking for. I cannot guarantee it, so that's why I'm bringing it to you so you can share with me what you've heard. But we do know that the military and the 17th letter of the alphabet, the highest level of government clearance officials, told us long ago that in terms of dissolving the deep state, Israel would be last. So we were trying to figure out, is it Israel over there towards the Middle East or Israel here in America? Because as you know, by looking at some of my other videos, I think maybe 2 or 3 videos ago, I talked about Israel actually being in America. So the first Israel and the first Garden of Eden and all of those countries that you see outside of us allegedly started here in America. And I shared with you on my YouTube page the map that's supposed to be the ancient American map that was in the ancient biblical American map. So you can go back and look at those videos, but let's get back into this article. Bennett and Lapid agreed to dissolve Israel's government. I'll just read a little bit about it. Israel's Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, along with key coalition ally Foreign Minister Yair Lapid, has agreed to submit a bill to dissolve parliament. This would trigger a general election later in the year. You all tell me what you think this means. A short statement from the Prime Minister's office said the move came after attempts to stabilize the coalition had been exhausted. A bill would be submitted to Parliament at some point next week, the statement said. If it is passed, Lapid will be set to take over from Bennett as Prime Minister, in line with the original coalition agreement struck last year. Among other things, that would mean that Lapid would be Israel's leader for the planned visit of number 46 next month. The election would be the 5th in Israel in 4 years. I'm not sure exactly what that means. But let's read further. The Bennett-Lapid government has been in power for just over 1 year and was formed from a coalition of 8 parties stretching across the political spectrum, including for the first time an Arab party led by Mansour Abbas. However, recent weeks have seen a number of members of the coalition either quitting or threatening to quit, leaving the government without a majority in parliament to pass legislation. I'll read that last sentence. However, recent weeks have seen a number of members of the coalition either quitting or threatening to quit, leaving the government without a majority in parliament to pass legislation. You can find that at CNN News, that's CNN.com. It was published today at 1:16 p.m. I don't know what to make of that, but it could be really encouraging for us if indeed this government is going to dismantle. And possibly this is something happening undercover. We don't know yet, but I tell you what, as I find out information, I will be sure to let you know. Additionally, I wanted to report that I went to Rock the Red conservative convention. Of course, it's Republican convention here in Florida. It was in Ocala, Florida last Saturday. It was a wonderful event. We had amazing speakers. We had Mike Lindell, General, not General Flynn, but Flynn. I think his name was Joe Flynn. Angela Stanton King, who was the former congressional runner for the Congress seat in Atlanta, Georgia. She was the young lady who President Donald Trump actually pardoned. And so she was thrilled about that. She was running for Congress. She did not make it, and we don't know why. We don't know if it was a legitimate decision, what's all going on with this voting. But she did speak, and she gave an eloquent speech about how she supports number 45 and how he had executed executive orders to release those felons who were nonviolent from the prison system, and over 90% of those were melanated human beings, or people who were classified as African American or Black males. So we were really excited about that, because people kept saying that President Trump was a racist and he didn't care about people of color. But we didn't find that to be true. And when you talk about someone who released nonviolent offenders, and not only releasing them but giving them assistance, and he also allowed for passed executive orders for children of color to go outside of their communities and go to whatever school they wanted, because he said that it should be up to the students and their parents to decide where they go to school. So this is really some exciting information that we already knew, but she shared it with us at the convention. It was also Roger Stone was there, Eric Trump, number 45 son, as part of the Trump family. And so this was the Rock the Red convention in Ocala. I was really excited about being there, and particularly when I heard the words that I had been saying over maybe 5 years now, about the republic being restored, sound money being restored, the deep state being dismantled, and just things that I had been saying for a long time. It was so refreshing to hear people to whom we look up that are a part of this political process to take down the deep state. And I tell you, it was encouraging to me, because I've been saying this for many years, since 2017, that number 45 was doing wonderful things for us. And I kind of got some backlash, and so I don't really report on it as much, and about Nassar and all that, because there's so much that I've said over the years that now the information is just being regurgitated by the newbies, the newcomers, because only us. Everybody didn't know the information, and the few of us that did, we weren't as convincing as I had hoped we would be, but that's okay. So these are some of the words that I heard spoken, and I did write down these quotes. We will restore the republic. We will restore sound money. And as you know, sound money is silver and gold. So I am in a silver and gold selling business. I will put down my link in the description channel so that you can, buy you some silver and gold and support Dr. Kia Pruitt. But it doesn't matter to me if you get it from me or if you go to your local dealer. Look up numismatics in your city and see if you can find a dealer, or just look up coin dealers or silver and gold dealers or metal dealers in your neighborhood, and find some silver and gold so that you can be ready when sound money is restored. And keep in mind that the Constitution defines the dollar as a fixed weight in silver. Yes. So I heard those words. We will restore the republic. We will restore sound money. They said number 45 never conceded, which we already knew. They also said Ron DeSantis is taking down Disney and the pedos. So I thought that was amazing, because we already knew that. I don't know if I reported that on my channel, but what Governor Ron DeSantis did, was he took away power from Disney because they were self-governing. He took all that away. So to hear these high officials say, or high political candidates, not candidates, but proponents or supporters of the Conservative Party say that he's taken on this big corporation, this big entity, and taking down the pedos or people who harm children, because we knew behind the scenes that some of these things were going on with that major corporation, but to actually hear them say that was amazing. He also said that number 45 and the white hats, which you don't hear a lot of people talk about the white hats. I've been talking about the white hats since 2017, and people are like, "Well, that doesn't make sense." But the white hats are just factions of the military, that but benevolent factions of the military that had made an allegiance with the Nasara White Knights, which are people from all over different governments all over the world, as well as your galactic beings from the Galactic Federation who were in alliance to take down the deep state all over the world. And the deep state are just these nefarious beings who present as human, but they are actually extraterrestrials, and some of them are extraterrestrial hybrids, meaning that they mated with humans and created children and took over the world. So this is your so-called elite or elites. So maybe they're related to the Elohim. I think that's why they got the elites or elites. These are your 13 bloodlines. Those are the ones that took over the world, but the white hats and the Nasara White Knights took them down. So at this convention, I heard them say, number 45, they said his name, and the white hats need our help. They need digital soldiers. Those of us that are online creating content or typing and making, have our own journalists broadcast. We are our independent journalists, have our own newspapers, our own broadcasts. They need our help to spread the word that the deep state is being dismantled. They also said that they are protecting and preserving our purchasing power, and the best way to do that is to invest in silver and gold, because when we return to the silver and gold standard, then your money will be worth more. It's real money. It's defined as money according to our Constitution for the United States. It's recognized as real money all across the globe. And when the Republic is restored and we return to the gold standard, then everybody's silver and gold and their currencies will be 1-to-1 in terms of exchange rate. So it'll be a level playing field. We will all be on the same level. Nobody's more important than the next. Nobody will have more purchasing power than the next. And also, when you return to silver and gold standard, your money is worth more. So things like, say, a house that might cost $100,000 now could cost or will cost as little as $10,000 once we return to the silver and gold standard. So that's how we'll have more purchasing power. Another thing they told us is those of you who are interested to run for office, they said this is a spiritual battle. They said, good, but this is good versus evil, but that we're winning. And they kept telling us, hold the line, we got this. And they also said that Gitmo, or Guantanamo Bay, was filling up with people from all sectors of society that had worked together in cahoots with the elites to enslave the planet. So to have them to say that Guantanamo Bay was filling up was really encouraging, because this is some of the things that we've been saying. I wrote an article about this. I have been talking about it for years, but I wrote an article about it, I think it was March of 2020, before the shutdown, before that thing that came across, that sickness came and shut down the world. I wrote an article about all these things that were occurring behind the scenes and how the deep state was being overtaken, but all these things behind the scenes were that looked negative was actually going to turn around for our good. So I'm excited to hear this coming out. I'm hoping this is good news that Israel's government looks to be shutting down. I don't know what that means, but I will submit it to you, this question. What do you think the implications of all this news? What are the implications for you? So do you believe that Israel is last? Do you think this is the announcement behind the scene that this is over, that the government of Israel will be dismantled? Because we've heard that Israel over there is actually run by the Khazarian mafia. So we shall see. Stay encouraged. Keep your vibrations high. Eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. Take you some monatomic gold, some colloidal silver, some monatomic silver, some colloidal gold. Take your vitamins and minerals. Get lots of sun, lots of vitamin D. Drink lots of fresh water. And if you can, get as many raw living foods, living vitamins, living fruits and vegetables in your body, because it will boost your energy and keep you positive. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It has been my pleasure to bring this news to you, which I consider breaking. Let me know in the comments section what you think this means for us and the return of the Republic, and also for the takedown of the deep state and return to sound money. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.